Taehyung sighs again, taking another sip of his coffee. Alright. Alright, and accept my apologies too, please. Jungkook startles, raising his eyes to him. What, accept my apologies for raising my voice at you? Taehyung unexpectedly declares, surprising Jungkook. He's apologizing to him. Wow. And, you're right. I think some fresh air would do you good. But let's do this. We are expecting a visit from your doctor today. If I hear from him that you're really on the road to recovery, we'll go for a walk. Jungkook raises an eyebrow. Taehyung chuckles, nodding. Why? How does that sound to you? Why we, sir? I'm not a child. You don't need to look after me. Or are you afraid I'll run away? Jungkook arches an eyebrow challengingly. Of course, you're not a child, Jungkook. But I've taken it upon myself to be responsible for you. I said I'd take care of you, and that's precisely what I'm doing. Or do you object to my company? Jungkook sighs, considering for a moment, then shrugs. No, sir, I don't mind your company. I just simply can't picture the two of us walking together down the street. Taehyung smiles, taking another sip of his coffee. He delays his response ever so slightly, leaving Jungkook uncertain if it's intentional. Then Taehyung's voice returns. But for now, let's wait for the doctor. Jungkook nods, offering a faint smile. A simple smile, nothing more. But it's a smile reserved just for Taehyung, and the man can't help but wonder why there's suddenly a strange warm feeling in his chest. Closer to lunchtime, Jungkook sits on the bed in a freshly laundered tracksuit, which, to his surprise, he has grown quite fond of during these days. Taehyung stands nearby as the door to the bedroom opens, revealing the familiar to Jungkook face of the bodyguard. Doctor Seokjin is here, sir, he informs briefly. Jungkook looks up, noticing Taehyung nodding. J-Hope disappears behind the door, and in the next moment, he opens it wider, ushering the doctor into the room. Good afternoon, Mr. Kim, the doctor greets immediately. Taehyung replies with a brief nod. Hello, Jungkook. The doctor redirects his attention to Jungkook, moving closer to the bed and taking a seat on the chair prepared for him. How are you feeling today? Much better, sir, the boy nods with a smile. How have these days been? The cough bothers me less now. And the fever is gone. How about the headaches? They're almost gone, sir. The medicine is helping a lot. Wonderful, the man nods, jotting it down in his iPad, then looks back at the boy. Is your throat still hurting? He gestures towards Jungkook's neck, and Jungkook, feeling self-conscious, adjusts his scarf. Half an hour earlier, when they learned that Dr. Seokjin was on his way, Taehyung suddenly snapped to attention, noticing the love bites he left on Jungkook's neck. With no better option, they both decided to cover them up with a scarf. After all, their cover story is that Jungkook is just the nephew of the Kim family, and neither of them wants to raise questions about the origin of love bites on Jungkook's body during his time in the apartment. Taehyung chose to hide his own with the collar of a black turtleneck. It's much better, sir, Jungkook nods, trying to smile again. Especially when I keep it warm. I mean, well, that was a good idea on your part. The man smiles politely, then moves his chair a bit closer to the bed. He opens his bag and pulls out a pair of sterile gloves, quickly putting them on. May I have a look at your throat, Jungkook? Yes, of course, the boy nods again. He straightens up, trying to open his mouth as wide as possible, feeling the doctor's fingers touching his chin. Taehyung tactfully clears his throat, just in time to suppress an irritated comment. If Jungkook's mouth weren't opened so wide, he would have openly chuckled at this behavior. I see improvement, doctor. Seokjin smiles again. And what about the temperature? It lingered for a few days after your last visit, but yesterday evening it went down, and this morning there was none. Good. The doctor nods, taking something from his bag. But if you don't mind, I'd like to check it again. Yes, sir. Unexpectedly, Taehyung speaks up, drawing the doctor's attention to himself. If you don't mind, doctor, I would insist that you use a home thermometer. He frowns slightly and shrugs. I would feel more at ease if there's nothing questionable in Jungkook's mouth. You know, the doctor nods awkwardly, putting his own thermometer away. Jungkook hides a smile in his, actually Taehyung's, scarf. Sometimes Mr. Kim is so obvious that it's comical. However, the doctor likely interprets it as an act of some parental concern. Fortunately. As you wish, Mr. Kim, the doctor agrees, and instead of handing him the thermometer, Taehyung unexpectedly leans slightly toward Jungkook, peering into the Bordeaux eyes. And noticing his attempts to hide a smile, Jungkook obediently opens his lips, allowing the thermometer to be inserted. Taehyung straightens up again, taking a few steps back. How would you assess Jungkook's condition in the past few days, Mr. Kim? The doctor, waiting for the result, decides to ask a few more questions and throws a glance at Taehyung. Who has been taking care of him? It was me. Taehyung nods confidently. And I would say everything is quite satisfactory. Jungkook is a very obedient boy, he adds with satisfaction, making Jungkook blush. You know, he took all the medications, ate food when told, and stayed in bed because he was instructed to. A very obedient boy. Jungkook wants to snort discontentedly just on principle. Of course, the doctor doesn't see anything unusual in those words, but Jungkook knows the subtext. And he just wants to hit Taehyung on the shoulder at least once. Just because he deserves it. Fortunately, the thermometer beeps, and the doctor, adding something to his notes, takes it back. Your temperature is almost back to normal, he says with satisfaction, returning it to Taehyung. You're getting better, Jungkook, I must say. Well, can I check your lungs now? The man puts on the stethoscope, and Jungkook nods obediently. But if you don't mind, can I leave my scarf if you want to? Jungkook sits a bit more comfortably, lifting his hoodie and a t-shirt. He flinches slightly as the cold air touches his bare chest when the man begins to examine him. The doctor, noticing this, smiles understandingly. All right, now turn your back to me. The boy nods again, turning around and holding his clothes as the man lifts his shirt up. Sit a bit straighter, please, he requests, suddenly touching the boy's waist to adjust him. Taehyung's unexpectedly stern voice fills the room. Doctor Seokjin, I would strongly urge you to maintain professionalism and refrain from touching my nephew unless absolutely necessary. He shoots a displeased glance at the man, who immediately withdraws his hand. Jungkook silently chuckles, taking advantage of the moment when no one can currently see his face. I apologize, Mr. Kim, the man mumbles. Jungkook, please, take a deep breath now. Jungkook complies, doing as instructed, and the doctor listens to his lungs for a few more seconds before stepping back. All right, you can lower your clothes, he quietly adds, and Jungkook straightens up, returning to his previous position. The man nods and quickly jots something down on a separate sheet. I want you to continue taking these medications for the next few days. The others we can discontinue now. Once the cough is completely gone, you can stop the remaining ones. And after that, for the next month, please take these vitamins. Jungkook nods, and the doctor, finishing his notes, hands him the sheet. Jungkook gives him another warm smile, finding it amusing to observe Taehyung's reaction. Thank you, Doctor Seokjin. You've been so kind to me. You're truly my savior. I'm very glad to see you recovering, dear. The man smiles at him. Dr. Seokjin, I thought I made myself clear about professionalism. In case you're unaware, any addressing of Jungkook other than by his name also falls under that request. Taehyung voices his dissatisfaction again. The man looks up at him, nervously nodding. Yes, I apologize again, sir. Mr. Kim, he stammers, stumbling a bit. Are we done here? I hope Taehyung asks. Yes, sir. I think I should go. Oh, I think it's time for you to leave, too, Doctor. Seokjin swiftly packs everything back into his bag and stands up. I'm sorry for overstepping, sir, he adds, apologetically lowering his head. Taehyung remains silent, so the man throws another glance at Jungkook. I also apologize to you, Jungkook. Get well soon. Jungkook smiles friendly at him. Thank you, Doctor. Will you come for me again? You know, to visit and check on me. And, Taehyung interrupts him, subtly touching the doctor's shoulder but looking directly at Jungkook. He'll come if there's an acute need, Jungkook. And now, it seems you need some rest. And the doctor needs to leave, Jungkook chuckles, deciding to bid farewell by waving his fingers at the doctor in an obviously flirtatious gesture. The doctor only swallows hard and suddenly feels Mr. Kim subtly guiding him out of the room. Jungkook laughs softly again, sinking back into the pillows, and hears muffled voices behind the door as Taehyung escorts the doctor out. Send the bill to my secretary, is what Jungkook manages to overhear before he catches the sound of the elevator chime behind the doors where the guest likely disappeared.